I never imagined I'd become one of those men sharing a story like this. Yet here I am. I always believed my marriage was built on solid ground. Like any relationship, we had our share of ups and downs, but I thought we were steady, unshakable. I worked hard, provided for the family, and made sure to be present for my wife, Karen, and our two daughters. I believed that devotion meant something. Apparently, I was wrong. It began subtly, tiny shift in her behavior that at first seemed harmless. Karen, once affectionate and warm, grew distant. She used to kiss me goodbye every morning before I left for work. That quiet ritual vanished without warning. Soon after, she began dressing differently, wearing a new perfume, spending more time out of the house. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off casually, saying she was simply trying something new or meeting friends. I wanted to trust her, and so I did, blindly, maybe foolishly. But the emotional distance between us only widened. Our conversation shrank, became colder, hollow. Even when we sat side by side on the couch, it felt like a chasm had opened between us. I made efforts, planned date nights, surprised her with flowers, even booked a weekend getaway just for the two of us. She canceled at the last minute, claiming a work conference had come up. That was the weekend the illusion of our marriage finally began to crack. One night, her phone was left on the bed while she showered. I wasn't the kind of man to snoop, never had been. But something inside me stirred, an intuition, a whisper that said, "Look," and I did. What I found shattered me. Text messages, dozens of them, explicit, romantic, passionate, all from a man named Thomas. My chest tightened as I scrolled through weeks of conversation. She wrote to him that she wished he was the father of her children, said I was dull, safe, uninspiring, that he made her feel alive in a way I never had. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My legs were weak. My breath caught in my throat. I didn't confront her right away. I needed time to process, to gather myself. So I began documenting screenshots, message logs, photos. I wanted the full, unfiltered truth. My search led me to discover Thomas was a man she met at her gym. He was younger by 6 years, had no steady job, nothing particularly remarkable, except, apparently, enough charm to seduce my wife. But that wasn't the part that hurt the most. What truly broke me was discovering that my daughters knew. 16 and 18, my girls, the ones I'd raised with unwavering love. I stumbled across a group chat between the two of them and Karen. In it, they discussed how much better Thomas was for her. One even said they always felt like she had settled for me, that I was too strict, too plain, too predictable. They were cheering for the affair to succeed. I was gutted, betrayed not only by the woman I shared my life with, but by my own flesh and blood. I had helped with homework, driven them to school, sat through every dance recital, held their hands when they were sick. I had been there, present, dependable, and this was how they saw me. When I finally confronted Karen, she didn't flinch, didn't lie, didn't deny it. "I thought you knew," she said flatly. "We haven't been happy in years." I asked why she never spoke to me, why she hadn't tried to salvage what we had. She only shrugged. "I didn't want to hurt you." That made me laugh, cold, bitter. She'd already wounded me deeper than I thought possible. I asked her to leave. At first, she refused, said the girls would be staying with her. I reminded her that the house was under my name, that my lawyer would be in touch. That got her attention. She packed her things and walked out that same night. My daughters followed her without a second thought. Their absence felt like a death I wasn't prepared to grieve. The house, once filled with life, became a cavern of silence. I couldn't eat. Sleep evaded me. My mind played scenes of betrayal on a relentless loop. I questioned everything. Was I really that boring? Had I failed as a husband, as a father? But in time, I began to see more clearly. Her infidelity wasn't about my shortcomings. It was about her selfish hunger for excitement, no matter the cost. I filed for divorce. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to preserve what dignity I had left. I offered fair terms. No spite, no vengeance, just closure. She demanded more. claiming she had sacrificed her youth for our marriage and deserved compensation. Her lawyer tried to paint me as controlling. Mine swiftly countered with the evidence I'd gathered. That part didn't last long. Through it all, my daughters didn't call. Not a single message. On social media, they posted selfies with Thomas, calling him their mother's real soulmate. It felt like I was mourning a family that still breathed but no longer existed for me. 6 months went by. I poured myself into recovery, started therapy, picked up old hobbies, went hiking again, took a photography class, reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in years. The pain never disappeared, but it dulled, softened into something bearable. Then something I didn't expect happened. My eldest daughter showed up at my door one evening. She looked changed, not in appearance, but in spirit. Her face was streaked with tears. She apologized, said she had been wrong. That Thomas wasn't who they thought he was. He was controlling, manipulative, verbally abusive. He had even tried to come on to her once. And when she told Karen, her mother accused her of lying. She said she no longer felt safe. I let her in. It was awkward at first. The silence between us wasn't angry, just wounded. I didn't know how to speak to her. Not yet. I was still bruised. But I saw remorse in her eyes, not just regret, but genuine sorrow. She apologized, over and over, for what she said, for siding with her mother, for choosing betrayal over loyalty. Slowly, cautiously, we began to rebuild something. Not the same relationship we once had, but maybe something more honest. A week later, Karen called. She wanted to come over to talk. I told her no. There was nothing left to say. She made her choices. Now she could live with them. I later learned Thomas had cheated on her with someone else. He moved out, left her with a lease she couldn't afford, and vanished without a word. Karma has a way of arriving without an announcement. But I didn't gloat. I didn't send any messages or bask in vindication. I stayed silent. That was enough. In time, my younger daughter reached out too. Seeing her mother broken and abandoned made her rethink everything. She wanted to come back, wanted to heal. I was cautious, but in truth, I had missed them both, more than I ever admitted. The hurt hadn't vanished, but forgiveness had begun to take root. It's been 2 years now. Karen is gone from my life for good. My daughters and I are doing better. We still have our scars, moments when old wounds ache like fresh bruises. But we're healing, and I've learned something painful but true. Sometimes, the people you love the most are the very ones who hurt you the deepest. But even after the worst betrayals, healing is possible. It's not easy. It's not quick, but it's real, and I'm living proof of that.